Ready to talk about social media? Confused about what use is healthy or what seems like an addiction? That's what we're digging into today. Hi, it's Brain Bites with me, Dr. B. I'm Jessica Bichkowski, your friendly online psychiatrist. Let's dig in. Social media seems like it's everywhere. It's certainly become a big part of many people's screen time. We also probably recognize that it's not all bad or all great, especially when we hear about the potential issues it's causing for young people and developing brains. But that doesn't mean grown-ups are off the hook. It's our job to help compare the benefits and the risks and to work with people to find a healthy way to stay connected. Let's start with some of the great stuff social media does. Social media can ease social engagement, especially for people with impaired social functioning, like in autism spectrum disorders or schizophrenia spectrum disorders. Social media provides a way for sharing information and experiences with other friends or fans of pretty much any interest. For older adults who are given some training, it's shown to improve certain cognitive skills. Social media can encourage personal growth and reduce stress through wellness information and entertainment. Cute baby animal videos get me every time. How can I stay stressed when I'm watching an adorable pile of puppies? It can help with community involvement or fun health competitions, and can offer space and validation for all groups, but especially vulnerable populations like LGBTQ plus youth. And for us, the mental health professionals, social media can let us share personal experiences. We don't just have to be an expert all the time. We can use social media to help destigmatize mental health issues. Social media can be great for networking with colleagues and other professionals we'd like to connect with, and it's a great way for sharing research and missions with a wider audience. All pretty great, but we know that's not the whole story here. As with pretty much everything, overusing social media can cause some problems. Excessive use can lead to changes in brain physiology similar to what's seen in substance use disorders. There may be negative impacts on self esteem, body image, and social standing. Extra screen time can cause sleep dysregulation or cut sleep time short, leading to impaired functioning. Social media can worsen depression, anxiety, and disordered eating. We can even see addiction like behaviors due to dopamine rushes from likes, and sometimes even normalizing of self harm behaviors. We can see our own share of negative stuff on social media as mental health professionals, too. It doesn't take long when talking about mental health before you have to deal with some disruptive trolls and anti psychiatry people or groups. And do I even need to talk about the time it takes us to build and maintain an online presence? More than I'd like to admit. But lots of people use social media all the time. Do we need to tell everyone to put their phones down or get rid of TikTok? Not so bad for me because I'm not on social media much anyway. But I'm really only concerned with excessive or pathological use. It's important to point out here that social media addiction is not actually recognized as a diagnosis in the DSM 5 or the text revision. The closest related disorder is gambling disorder or internet gambling disorder, which can be found in the back under conditions for further study. Here's what I'm talking about when I say pathological use. When multiple areas of daily life, work, relationship, health, like sleep, are negatively affected. When people have maladaptive thinking patterns, like what's seen in substance use disorders related to using and not using social media. When self regulation is less than ideal due to needing social media. So, time spent on social media alone doesn't indicate an addiction. It would make things way easier for us, but it's more complicated, of course. We really need to consider how a person engages with social media. Are they actively posting photos of things they did on vacation or just passively, mindlessly scrolling? What are the patterns when it comes to using social media? What do they consume and for how long? And probably the biggest consideration is the impact of social media on daily functioning. So, how do we get this information? Let's touch on some of the ways to figure out patterns of use and impact on functioning. We all know how to do this, but make sure you start off with a non judgmental, collaborative approach to keep from shutting down the conversation right from the beginning. No judgy looks or tones of voice. It's really important to assess the quality of social media use, not just the total amount of hours. Take a look at the purpose behind the use across all of the different areas of life, whether for work, social reasons, or related to hobbies. Consider underlying issues contributing to why someone might be overusing social media to a point that it becomes a problem. Anxiety, depression, body image concerns. And what platforms are they using? What times of day or week? And what's the point of using it? Are they on LinkedIn for job hunting or TikTok for goofing off? Do they have named accounts and are they presenting themselves authentically? Or is it more like sneaking around or trying to become someone else? How bad is it when they're not on social media or are disconnected? Is it super distressing? Does it get in the way of other stuff they're trying to do offline? And what's the quality of online relationships? Are they positive and fulfilling or something else that feels way less warm fuzzy? It's a lot of stuff to dig into. And I'll have some links to screening scales in the show notes to help with this. But then, what next steps do we need to look at? There are a variety of things we can help with to minimize use, whether we're concerned someone is addicted or just not using social media in the healthiest way. First off, try regulating social media access and use rather than just completely cutting it off. It may be unreasonable to ever be totally disconnected. Find lifestyle changes or little tweaks that can help to minimize social media use and feel fulfilling at the same time. It won't help if they aren't having fun and they feel like they're missing out on social media. This could be fun hobbies, spending time outdoors, reading, all the things here. Have people create tech-free zones in their spaces and encourage non-digital activities alone and with others. Address maladaptive thinking with CBT or other appropriate therapies if needed. Medication is not generally the answer here, but it could be if there are underlying conditions like generalized anxiety disorder or disordered eating that play a part in social media use. Talk about healthy, self-regulated social media use and what that might look like uniquely for them. Here's a quick case to help illustrate some of these points. Sarah is a 36-year-old marketing executive who spends 6 to 8 hours daily on various social media platforms. Her main symptoms include constantly checking notifications, even during work meetings. She experiences anxiety whenever she can't get on social media. She's been neglecting real-life relationships, preferring her online ones instead. And she reports poor sleep due to late-night scrolling and feeling wound up when she tries to fall asleep. What I think is the most important part here is the effect her social media use has on her life. In Sarah's case, that includes decreased productivity at work, leading to a recent warning from her boss to catch back up and stay accountable. Strained relationships with family and friends, where they feel like she can't be counted on anymore. And Sarah has been feeling more inadequate and down on herself, and that she's not living as big or as well as she should be, or it looks like everyone else is doing. Whole lot of FOMO. So what are some good specific steps Sarah can take to improve her overall situation? Well, she implemented tech-free zones at home. The couch and her bed are tech-free now since they're so comfy and where she tends to spend a lot of her time. And at work, she's tech-free during meetings and time dedicated to projects with deadlines. But it's fine in the break room if she's not spending time engaged with live people. She has set time limits on social media apps and turned off notifications. She also moved the apps to an inconvenient place at the back of her phone in a folder. So now there are a few extra steps she has to take while deciding if she really needs to use social media right now. When she is sitting on the couch, Sarah will either pick up a book, watch a show, or listen to music. And before bed, she journals and reads. And she also found a therapist to help her work through some of her anxiety and self-esteem issues. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, but she's working through it all and is feeling less anxious and more fulfilled with less time on social media. We have the same goals, helping people to reach the mental wellness they are looking for. And that includes healthy, self-regulated social media use and addressing any underlying issues. Social media is not all bad, but the goal is healthy, balanced use, as with pretty much everything we do. Although this hasn't been a big focus with all my intakes in the past, it will be now. Because even if this is an area we may not have been trained in, social media is impacting everyone we see. I hope your brain is full of digital goodness. No addiction required. Be sure to grab more tasty tidbits at brainbiteswithdrb.com. Enjoy!